Hey everybody, welcome back to my podcast. There is always more. I'm your host, Nicole Segovia. Thank you so much for listening today. Today's episode is going to be on common diet myths. And these are all things that I encountered. People that I've spoken to have told me that they have also encountered these things. And I want to address them because I feel like it's super important to realize that everything we read or hear is not always true. And sometimes the things that we do read and hear can really hinder us from achieving our goals. So, without further ado, let's go to point number one that I have. So, I've heard people often say, like, I have to skip a meal, or I can't eat that at this time, or things like that. So, first of all, some side effects that can happen if you do not eat. You might feel tired. Obviously, you're going to feel hungry, which can then cause to reaching for foods that are high in fat, high calorie snacks, or just overeating on your next meal. So I've learned throughout my dieting and changing my lifestyle that I now eat until I'm satisfied, not until I'm full. And I eat whenever my body tells me that I'm hungry. I don't go off of a time. I know some people do like that fasting where you only eat between like 12 and 8 or 11 and 7, things like that. And that's completely fine. But it's just making sure that you're fueling your body when your body is telling you that you need more food. Point number two that I have on here is people saying that they're limited on the foods that they can eat. Of course, we all know there's so many diets out there you can do. We have keto, we have paleo, we have anything that's as far as like, I don't eat any carbs, I don't eat any like, no sugar diets, like things like that. Here's my take on fad diets. I'm not against fad diets, but here is what I believe, and I stick to it, and that's okay if you disagree with me because agreeing to disagree is very healthy. I believe that fad diets are good for short term unless you know how to maintain your weight once you resume to your normal lifestyle. The reason I say this is because I know so many people that lost a crap ton of weight on keto and they looked phenomenal. They were feeling amazing. And then as soon as they went back to their regular diet, they gained all of the weight back. So a big part of that, of course, is self-discipline. Another part of that is I really believe that long-term success is the goal whenever you are doing a diet or trying to lose weight, which is why I always say that small changes make the biggest differences. Because first of all, I'm not going to use any specific diet as an example because I'm not super knowledgeable about like everything that comes along with keto or everything that comes along when you do paleo or things like that. But what I will say is that what worked the best for me was I do eat more whole grains, more whole foods. I do try and cook at home as much as I can. If I eat out, people that know me know that I love Chipotle, and Chipotle is not bad for you. Of course, in moderation, you know, the cheese and sour cream, probably the most fattening things there. But I do try to cook as much as I can at home because, of course, the more processed the food is, like fast food, the more unhealthy it is for you. So I never really thought about myself being limited on foods while I was doing my 30 days of healthy living with Arbonne because I basically sat down and said, what do I love to eat? And if that had something in it that I was giving up, for example, I wasn't eating dairy, say it had cheese in it. Okay, well, let's try vegan cheese. And if you don't like that, then there's so many different options, guys. Sit down and write about what you love to eat and then find a replacement. For example, I love ice cream. Ice cream is my absolute weakness. I can eat ice cream every single day, literally every single day. But I started getting my ice cream made with coconut milk. There's a brand, I think it's called like So Delicious. Literally, I do not miss ice cream. I almost prefer my So Delicious ice cream, and it is vegan. And it's so good. It being made with coconut milk did not change the flavor. I have chocolate. I've had vanilla bean from them. I've had like this like mocha one. It's bomb. It's so freaking good. I love it. That leads me to my third point. When you're on a diet, a lot of people often think that you cannot have anything as far as treats. Like treating yourself is bad. Don't do it. Let's be real. Temptation is a real thing, guys. You are going to have temptations. You are going to look at something and be like, I need that piece of cake or that cookie or whatever it is that your temptations are. Like I said, mine is ice cream. I am a sucker for chocolate chip cookies, however, but I think the real trick is to award yourself a treat in moderation, of course, and use that as a reminder of how proud you are for yourself. Use that as like a goal. Like when I get to this, I will reward myself with this treat. Or maybe once a week you have, a treat. Or I don't know, everybody does it differently. For me, I would treat myself when I would meet a goal. If that meant losing body fat, then that meant losing body fat. If that meant losing a few pounds, then that's what it was. If that meant gaining muscle and this many pounds of muscle on my body, then I would get a treat, and that's what I did. But never tell yourself like you cannot have this, because temptation is real. Temptation can really take over our brains, and it's something that often also leads to overeating, because you tell yourself for so long that you cannot have it. So when you actually get to eat your favorite food or dessert or whatever that you are dying to have, you overeat because you're like, what if I don't get this in like the next 3 months or whatever your time period is? My fourth point that I want to make is, I've heard people say like, I'm targeting to lose weight in this area. Well, when we lose fat in our bodies, we don't have any control over where we lose it. For example, while I was doing my hardcore dieting and going to the gym twice a day, or just like working out twice a day, I lost fat and weight in places that I didn't even know you can lose fat and weight in. For example, I lost fat in my calves. Yes, in my calves. I want to say my right calf lost like 2 inches or something. And I was like, literally, how am I losing weight in my calves? Like that, I honestly could not process it. I was shocked. But, losing weight in areas, you don't have any control over that. So the other side of that would be that you can target certain muscle groups that will help you tone that specific muscle. But losing fat is a whole other group of fitness. You cannot choose where you want to lose fat, and that's totally fine. It's just you have to accept the fact that your body is going to react to these diets in its own manner. And when you figure that out, then it just becomes better. Like when you find out what works for your body, it just feels amazing. You feel good. And it's all a part of the process. Learning about your body is literally all a part of the process. Okay, my next point. Oh my gosh, I've heard this so much. Carbs make you fat. Carbs do not make you fat. It is what type of carb are you eating. For example, my ultimate thing that I love is bread. I am a bread lover. I want all the bread. I want the bread with butter. I want the bread with any sauce. I love bread with cheese. You name it. If it's bread, I'm there. But it wasn't until I started to choose the right type of carbohydrate, such as oats, brown rice, wholemeal bread, and pasta, and I was like, oh, like I can still eat these good carbs. Maybe not with the sauce that I wanted, because if we're being honest, the added sauces and toppings that we put with our carbs is what makes the dish high in fat. It's not the carbs, it's what we add to it. So I highly recommend looking at the type of carbs that you're eating and asking yourself, is that a whole carb? Is that a whole food? Am I eating whole foods? You can have carbs. That's not going to make you fat. Another thing that I've also heard a lot is like, I have to work out intensely. I have to work out really, really, really hard. And of course, for me, I love to have intense workouts. I love to be pushed. I love to do all of that. But also looking at your own goals, not everybody wants to build all this muscle. Some people just want to lean out. Some people want to gain weight because they, maybe they think they're too skinny. Some people, maybe aren't in the shape or condition to work out very, very hard at the very start of their diet. But that's why I hate that we have to say that. Like, you don't have to work out intensely to, lose weight and do all of that stuff. It's just a matter of getting in some exercise. And whatever that looks like for you is fantastic. It's going to look different for everybody. And that's why I think it's a beautiful thing, because we all start from a different spot. But the coolest thing is that we all have the same goal. We all want to be a better version of ourselves. We all want to push ourselves to new limits. We want to see what our bodies are capable of. That was one of the most exciting things for me going through my journey, because I was like, dang, like looking back, I never thought that I could do that, or I never saw myself lifting that much weight, or having so much control over what I put in my body. I never thought I would get to a point to where I felt comfortable in my own skin and things like that. And so it's so freaking awesome when, like I said, you gain control of yourself. I also really want to encourage that a routine of some sort, again, is going to look different for every single person because we all have different schedules. But having a routine, making the workout or exercise a part of your routine. Don't look at it as a chore. Look at it as a want. I don't know where I read this or saw this or somebody said it, but it stuck with me. And it was, you should not work out because you hate your body. You should work out because you love your body. And once I started to, again, change my mindset, I was like, you know what, that's 100% correct. I need to work out because I love my body and I nourish my body and I want to make my body better and I want to take care of it. I was working out because I hated my body. I was working out because I hated the way that I looked and felt and everything. And so when you switch your mindset and you start to love on yourself a little bit more, it just makes a world of a difference. And some things that I did, I know with COVID, obviously a bunch of gyms are not open. So a few recommendations that I have, I actually would go on YouTube. And first of all, YouTube is a great source for multiple things. And I personally love to dance. And so what I would do is I would do like hip hop cardio or Zumba, or just look up like HIIT workouts or any high intensity workout, or again, yoga if you like yoga. There's so many videos to follow. And I loved it. I would literally do the hip hop workouts in my garage and I would be drenched with sweat. Like I felt as if I had just finished a full workout at my gym. I swear to you. Another thing that really encouraged me was my dog. She loves to go for walks. And so walking or running with your pets, I would ask my mom to go with me and she would go with me with her dog. So that was cool, little like bonding moment for us too. Pick up some weights. Weightlifting is never, ever, ever bad. It does not make you bulky. If you're a female, do not think it makes you bulky. And if you're a male, you are never too strong. That's what I always say. You can always be stronger. So those are just some things that I did. I love to lift weights. I love to walk my dog. I love to dance. I love to do all those things. But these are just some of the myths and tips and tricks that really I noticed throughout my journey. And I know that I'm not alone. And so I really wanted to share that with you guys. And sorry that there's like a lot of background noise. I'm actually outside today in my car. It's probably the most quiet space I have today. A lot going on in my house today. But aside from that, I hope that these tips and tricks were helpful. I hope that you guys gained some sort of knowledge from it. And next week, for the podcast, I'm really excited. I'm actually going to have my first set of friends that I have that own a business, and they're going to come on here and they're going to share their story, and we're going to show them some love. And I can't wait for you guys to meet them and hear their story and learn about their products and all of that good stuff. So stay tuned for next week. It's going to be a good one. And also the week after that, I have another friend who is going to hop on with me and we're going to chat, and she also has her own business. And so all of these fun things are coming up and I'm so excited. Again, thank you so much for listening. It means the world to me that you guys take time out of your day to listen to my podcast, to hear me out. I hope you guys are having a great Monday, and I will be in contact soon. Have a great day. Bye.